December 2009, we had our CDR, and shortly after that we started the manufacturing process for all the components of the GPM. After about a year and a half, we started putting the spacecraft structure together and went through the qualification of the structure, and the step after that was installing the harness. The harness for a spacecraft is a component which basically all the wires that we put on the spacecraft that connects all the boxes together with the connectors at each end.
We started the integration of the observatory with the delivery of the two instruments, the GPM microwave imager and the dual frequency precipitation radar, in early 2012. These were then integrated onto the spacecraft, and we checked everything out to make sure everything worked, culminating with a comprehensive performance test in October of 2012. Before we launch any spacecraft, we do a very lengthy and detailed set of tests to make sure that the spacecraft is going to survive all of the environments that it's going to see during the launch and on orbit.
The test program for the observatory is pretty rigorous, and that's because once we get into space, we have only one shot at this.
The next thing we do is make sure that everything's still working after the full suite of environmental tests. So we do deployments of the solar arrays and the GMI and the high gain to make sure those still work just the same way they did before we went into environments.
The GPM observatory is about 3,900 kilogram spacecraft fully loaded. Very large spacecraft, and the larger the satellites is, just the logistics of moving them from one location to another is much more complicated than when you're dealing with the small satellites. That's why spacecrafts or observatories like GPM Core Observatory takes longer for us to complete the manufacturing and testing and all the environmental testing that we need to at the end.
Here at Goddard, we have about 300 people working on GPM, about 100 civil servants and about 200 contractors. That's in addition to a number of people at the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency who worked on the DPR instrument, and at Ball Aerospace who worked on the GPM microwave imager instruments.
Once we complete the GPM Core Observatory testing inside our high bay, we get the spacecraft prepared for shipment. Then our next step is to transport it to Andrews Air Force Base and install it on the C5 and then take it to Tanegashima Island.